everyone, this is Georgia with Georgia's Crafty Creations, and today we're going to be doing a project with a sheet of Melody Lane digital paper, the Skylar set. I had a contest over on Facebook on Melody Lane Designs digital paper page, and what I did, I made this paper and I embossed it, and I asked for ideas on what we could do with this paper. Now we only got 2 entries, and those were from Susan Forte and Stacy Matthews, and they both suggested a wedding card. So that's what we're going to create today. And since there were only 2 entries, both Susan and Stacy will get a packet from me, including a card made from this paper and a few other goodies. So let's get started on what we need. But first, let me show you the card we're going to make. It's just a simple wedding card. I didn't want to do too much to the front so that the color of the paper and the textures would stand out. And then I also used a sheet of the paper on the inside and made my sentiment using Cricut Design Space. That is the only thing I use Design Space for. I'm going to share the file with this, with the sentiment, or if you don't want to do it with Cricut or you don't have a Cricut, this is a 4x5 piece of paper you could cut and then stamp your own sentiment or put whatever you like in there. So the supplies we're going to need for that card is we're going to need a 6x12 piece of cardstock. This will make a 6x6 card. And then you score it at 6 inches, which I've already done. And we're going to go ahead and crease that really well. The other thing I did, I went ahead and rounded all my corners on both my base and my other pieces because I like the finished look of that with this particular card. So we have that piece, and we're going to set that aside. Then, of course, you'll need your 4x5 piece for your inside sentiment. And then you're going to need 2 pieces of the Melody Lane digital paper, the Skylar set. And these are 5 3/4 inch square. One we're going to use for the front and the other for the inside. Now for the front, we're going to take this piece of 6x6 paper and we're going to emboss it using the Crafter's Companion Regency Swirl embossing folder. And I'm going to go ahead and stick that in there. And we'll get to embossing that in just a moment. The second thing we're going to do is we're going to take a piece of the white shimmery cardstock and this Tattered lace dies. It's called Birds and Bows, and we're going to make the die cut for the front of our card. So we're going to go ahead and place that down on our cardstock. And I like to tape this down just to keep it in place. And we're going to set that aside for a moment. Get this all ready, and then we'll put it through the machine all at once. The third thing we're going to use is we have a second 5 3/4 inch square for the inside, which I only rounded the bottom 2 corners because we're going to be cutting this off. And what we're going to be using for this is a Desire Edgeable die that says congratulations to you. So what I'm going to do with that is I'm going to make sure I have it the right way I want it. And we're going to get it placed up here near the top edge of the paper. That looks good. We're going to move it down just a little bit. Kind of place it where you want it. If you don't have this die, you could just do 2 mats on the inside and put a sentiment. I'm also going to tape that down. So I'm using the Gemini to do my die cutting with and my embossing. So we're going to go ahead and do the embossing folder first. And the sandwich for this particular embossing folder is just the base plate, your embossing folder, and your cutting plate. So I'm going to go ahead and run that through. Okay. And there we have our nice embossed page, which we will distress that in a couple minutes. I'm going to set that aside. And then we're going to take our base plate and our plastic shim and put that on. And we can do both our congratulations and the bird die at the same time. Now what have I found with the Gemini is if I place my dies crosswise, it seems like I have to put them in more times. Like the birds, I had to put through 4 times doing it this way. But if we turn them lengthwise to where more pressure goes over a smaller portion at a time, it usually cuts with the first pass. So I'm going to go ahead and get those cut. Now the thing I did wrong here is I put my paper down rather than up, so it cut into my shim. So be careful of that. And this one, I think we're going to cut them again because I stopped it because it seemed I saw the mistake. So we're going to run this through one more time. So make sure you always have your die facing up and not down. Now the congratulations cut. My tattered lace die is being a little stubborn. So we're going to put that through by itself. Let's see if that one cut through. Yep, that time it cut through. So we can go ahead and put our plates to the side. We'll go ahead and do our congratulations first. We're going to pull the tape off. And then we're just going to work this out of the die. I'm going to go ahead and snip it on this side because we are going to snip it on both sides. And that'll help me be able to raise that up a little quicker. There we go. And that exposes my die better to where I can get to it. There we go. And make sure you pop all the little things out. And there we have our congratulations, which will go on the inside. Now we'll get our birds. Sometimes I've noticed with tattered lace they're a little stubborn, and sometimes you just got to put them through more, but they will cut with just the base plate, the shim, and the cutting pad. So we pop that out. Then we've got to pop all these little pieces out. And it still seems like this one didn't cut through. But we're going to go ahead and do this. I might try it with the magnetic shim added to it the next time. Because this just did not seem to, I didn't have a problem with it earlier when I cut it. And I just ruined that one. So we're going to go ahead and cut another one of those. And I'm going to add the magnetic shim in this time. Okay, now we're going to try this again. Let's go ahead and put our birds down. Get them where we want them. Maybe put that up. There we go. Go ahead and tape it once, because on the magnetic it's going to stay put. So we're going to go ahead and lay that down. Happy accidents. You try it. If it doesn't work, you do something else. Okay, that looks much better. So, with the tattered lace, if they're thinner, go ahead and throw in your magnetic shim with your Gemini. This looks much, much better. And we just need to get it started up out of there. There we go. First time, just one time through, did it that time. So using the Gemini, use your magnetic shim and the plastic shim to do this. So there we have our birds. Now the last thing we need to do before we start assembling is we need to take our piece of embossed paper, and I'm going to take my Coordinations sand block, and we're just going to rub it over top of the raised areas. Just make it, you can do it as much or as little as you want. I like to at least get a little bit on all the raised areas. There. I like how that looks. So now we can get our card put together. So we're going to go ahead and take our card base. I'm going to grab one other thing. We need a piece of silver ribbon. And this is 5/8 inch, 5/8 width ribbon that I'm going to use, a silver. And we're just going to take some adhesive and put it on the back of it, all the way down to the end. And then I'm going to decide where I want my top of it, which I think I want this as my top. So we're going to do the ribbon diagonally this way. So I'm going to go ahead and place that on, smooth it down over the embossed areas, flip it over, and put a little more there, and a little more on this side. And this is our top, so I'm going to go ahead and put adhesive on the back now. I use lots of adhesive because I just like things to stick. I hate for things to pop apart. Okay, and this is going to be our top up here. And I like that. But before we put our birds on, we're going to do the inside because I like to have this smooth when I'm doing it. And if you get the sticker on your paper, just pull that off. So first we're going to adhere our congratulations, which I'm going to go ahead and put plenty of adhesive on it. You can use wet glue, tape runners, whatever glue you like to use it. Okay. So we're going to get this piece stuck down. Which that looks good. And then we're going to take our sentiment, get adhesive put on it. And get it placed where you want it. Right there looks good. Okay, we're going to put jewels across the bottom here that I've cut. We're going to get those placed on. Nope, I want them over just a hair. It's a problem with working upside down. Sometimes I can't quite see where I want things. There we go. There, I like that better. So one of my jewels went underneath. There we go. And then we're going to put just a few up here at the top. Going to put a few on this side of our congratulations. And we're going to put a few on this side. I like things to be blinged up. You can put more bling, less bling, no bling, but I like a little bit on it. So now that we have the inside done, we can go ahead and put our birds on. Now the way I'm going to put the birds on, I had tried gluing it down flat and I didn't like how it looked. So we are going to do this with foam dots, foam squares. But you just have to be careful where you place them because the birds, you don't want it showing through. I'm going to put 3 on this bird. I'm using a lot just so the areas that we do have them, it will stick well. Use 2 on that one. And then I have some that I've cut in half so they'd be able to fit on the bow. So we're going to put 1 there. And then we're going to put a skinny one at the bottom of this piece of the bow. And then we're going to put 1 down at the bottom of this bow, piece of the bow. And this one's showing a little bit. We need to move it. There we go. For some reason, I don't know what brand of foam squares I'm using because they're not in the package anymore. But for some reason, these particular ones, the paper doesn't come off real easy. I've had some that they just peel off so simply, and these ones sometimes I have to fight with them to get them off. Okay. Now we can decide where you want to put the bow about right there. Get it pressed down, and I'm going to put this bird down. And I'm pressing down on the wings a little bit so that as you put it in an envelope, it won't pull it, hopefully. And then I'm also going to put 1 gem right in the center of the bow. And then we're going to take and measure probably about right there, put some gems down that side. And then we're going to put some up on this side. And there you have it. There's a simple, cute wedding card. And it's made again, once again, with Melody Lane Designs Skylar digital paper. I'll put a link down below for that. And also I'll put a discount code for you down there, which is good for any papers you order from her. Also, hop on over to Facebook to Melanie Lane Designs Digital Paper and show off what you make and get inspiration from what others are making with digital paper now. And also, if you hop on over to Facebook to George's Crafty Creations and join. I'd love to see the projects you make. So I hope you guys like this. I hope you are able to make a card. If you don't have the particular dies, you can find a cut on Cricut or whatever machine you have, or another die that you like. Same thing with the inside. But try out different techniques with the digital paper. It's just really fun to make. So have a great day, everybody. Until next time, bye.